can you please give a wonderful warm welcome to Antony Butcher?
So, I'm going to give you a presentation about LTC Rolt, the best Lionel in the world, or why I'm on a quest to own everything written by one person. Beware, this presentation will feature pictures of an IKEA rug, book porn, and a picture of my cat, which is completely unrelated, but if I can't win you over with facts, I'll win you over with cats. Lionel Thomas Carswell Rolt was born just before the First World War, and he literally changed the landscape of industrial heritage. He was born in Chester to a line of Rolts dedicated to hunting and procreation, but he was actually interested in mechanics, and he went off to become an engineer. He did an apprenticeship working for an agricultural firm, doing everything from fixing lawnmowers to working on traction engines, and then he goes to work for a railway engine manufacturer in Lancashire. But it was the 1930s and the Grand Depression, so he was made unemployed, and he bought a vintage car and a vintage car garage, and helped found the Prescott Hill Climb, which is still in use today, and founded the Vintage Sports Car Club. And this is really significant because this is the first group in the world dedicated to preserving cars. Just because he could, he had a breakdown truck, which was made from the best car in the world. I couldn't get a picture, but it's a Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost. Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost. At this stage, his uncle purchases a canal boat called Cressy, and Tom decided they wanted to live on the canals. He converted this, and it was the first time a canal boat had been turned from something that carried goods into something you could live, and that is a picture of the boat. He got married in secret, and for his honeymoon, he did an epic journey around the English canals. He had plans to keep touring, but said later he wasn't able to because August isn't the best month for a honeymoon, especially when the year is 1939. So it's now his second one. He starts working for Rolls-Royce, making engines, but this is really boring, so he goes on to work for factories for the government, advising them on how they can make factories more efficient and working with other craftspeople. And in his spare time, he writes a book called Narrowboat, which is possibly the most significant book I have ever owned. And in this book, he advocates that it's a love poem. A love poem to canals. And at a time, during World War II, which is about as close as we can get to a genre-defining epoch where Britain essentially becomes irrelevant, people decide to fall in love with the past. And people decide to fall in love with canals. So his book is published in 1944, and he starts getting fan mail. Fan mail for a book about canals, which is essentially my life goal. And one bit of particular fan mail he gets is from someone who says, let's form a canal association. So he does. He forms a canal association, and they start campaigning. This is a picture from a canal that had been run down, but he had a right to take his boat on it. So he said, I'm taking my boat. They literally have to lift this bridge. These are wooden blocks on the side. Lift the bridge up so that his boat could get through. He's campaigning, but there's tension, and he gets kicked out of his association. I couldn't find any pictures of him getting kicked out, so this is just a generic image of someone being kicked out. And so he decides to do something that I can only explain with a montage slide. He joins the railways and goes through the Bettakultcha Railway Preservation Society. This is the world's first heritage railway, the first time volunteers have started running a railway for fun. He spends a year running it, selling tickets and mending engines and doing everything that needed doing, and writes a book called A Railway Adventure. This book inspires every single heritage railway that exists today. Every steam engine that is still running is because of this book, which is also incredible. So he's founded the Vintage Sports Car Club, he's founded the Canal Movement, he's founded Heritage Railways, which goes on to inspire the film The Titfield Thunderbolt. And if you haven't seen it, see it, because this is the single greatest film that has ever been made. He now thinks, what do I do with my life? And he starts writing, biographies, firstly, of various engineers. He sparks an interest in Victorian engineering that just didn't exist beforehand. Recently, Brunel was voted the second most influential Briton to have ever lived, second only to Churchill. That would only happen because of Rolt. Then he writes another book, and I know this is another picture of my IKEA rug, but bear with me. This book is the definitive book of railway accidents in the UK. It is still referenced today. If nothing else, this book makes him a legend. But there are so many other things I can't talk to you about in 5 minutes. He goes on to be a member of the Railway Museum, the Science Museum. He founds the Industrial Heritage Museum at Ironbridge, which has about 20 museums, and is brilliant. But it isn't his achievements that make him significant. I think he's a bridge. He writes about industrial heritage at a time when it wasn't the past, it was his day-to-day life. And at a time of increasing automated mechanisation, he was a craftsman. Long before the Green Movement, Tom Rolt was aware of the importance of considering our environment. In the 30s, he was writing about the relationship between modern technology and the natural world. Above all, he wrote and lived with genuine passion. So folks, and especially my wife, this is why I have a whole bookshelf of LTC Rolt. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can see others on the Bettakultcha YouTube channel. Subscribe now and you'll be notified when new ones are uploaded.